What a wonderful.
Hey guys, it's Catherine, and today's video is gonna be some books that I recommend. So recently I've been really getting into reading books and all that stuff. I honestly like it more than watching TV shows or anything like that. I don't know. So I'm gonna just recommend some books to you, tell you like what they're about and stuff. And if you want me to get into more details about the book, then I probably will do like a separate video just so I don't give spoilers in this video. Anyways, so I'm gonna start off with the books that got me into reading, because I actually have some books that I still haven't read that I've had for years, so I need to get into reading those. But I want to read the ones that I recently got. But anyways, so the books that got me into reading is the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy. So if you've seen the show, then you would know what the books are kind of about. I do want to say it's pretty similar to the show. Like, there's not a lot of difference. I would say probably like the only difference is that it's more based around Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah than what the show is, because the show kind of shows like the relationship between the moms and, you know, her brother, her best friend, all that. While in the books it's more just the three main characters. So that I would say like that's really the only difference between the books and the show, because everything else is pretty like much the same. I mean, some things they might have changed like from the scenes in the show, but yeah, basically it's much all the same. So anyways, so I'm gonna start with the first book in the trilogy. It's basically season 1 of the show. My only pet peeve I would say about this book, and I also recommend this book to my best friend, and she pretty much said the same thing as I did, is that it's very confusing of knowing like what is like right now in the timeline and what's something that happened in the past, because it kind of just shifts to like a memory in the past or like something, and you're kind of like confused at first, and you're like, wait, what's going on? Like, 1 minute you're over here and then now all of a sudden you're over there, and it just like, it really doesn't make sense. But once you get past that, I mean, the book is really good. It's just that little like kind of issue where like you're all of a sudden like in a memory and you don't even know that you're in a memory until like after you read the part. So yeah, so that was only my biggest like pet peeve about the first book, and I was just confused when I was reading it because I was like, wait, what? But besides that, it's pretty much the same thing as season 1 of the show. It's pretty good. Book number 2 is The Summer Without You, or it's not Summer Without You. And again, it's pretty much like season 2. Pretty much ends, I think, believe the same way. I could be wrong though. Hold on. I don't know. I read this like a while back, like the beginning of last year, so I've forgotten a couple things in the book. But I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. It's pretty good. I think the only difference in this book from like the show, the only part that I remember was that I forgot what she said in the show to her mom when her mom showed up to the summer house. I don't know, I forgot, but in the book she basically says like, I wish you were Susanna instead, like I wish my mom was Susanna instead of you, something like that. And yeah, that's when she like smacked her. But in the show, I think she says something else. I don't know. But anyways, which I don't know why they changed that, because I honestly would have just kept it the same. But anyways, so yeah, I would say that's probably the only difference, I think. And like, I don't think they go to Party City and like all that like in the book. I think that was just in the show. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty much the same though. You know, some differences here and there. And then the third book, y'all, the third book, I'm not gonna ruin it because the third season has not come out, but let me just say so, if you read the book, you know what's about to come up in season 3, and I'm really hoping that season 3 isn't like, I hope they prolong it, like what happens in this book, I hope they prolong it, so that way we have more than just season 3 and that's it. Like, I want there to be more seasons. But if it ends up being just like the book, then I pretty much believe that season 3 will be the last season. A lot of people are saying this on TikTok as well, that it's probably gonna be the last season. But I really hope it's not, because I don't know, I just hope they prolong it or whatever. But yeah, basically in the third book there's basically like a jump from where they left off in season 2. There's like a jump, and now they're like in college, and like all this stuff happens, and there's like this back and forth, and like it's crazy. I'm not gonna say everything that happens, but yeah, a lot happens. I'm not gonna say who she ends up with, but yeah, she definitely, yeah, it's crazy. I was in shock. I was in shock by Jeremiah. I was in shock by Conrad. Like, everyone just had me shook, honestly. Like, I was just like, what? Anyways, yeah, I don't know. It makes me happy, to be honest. Like, I don't know. Anyways, so jumping, I'm gonna still stick with like the romance books because, yeah. Next, I would say is My Life with the Walter Boys. Y'all, My Life with the Walter Boys. I just finished watching the show. And that show was so good. It was so good. It really was like The Summer Turned Pretty, but like different, but like still sticking with the same concept, you know? And this book, I believe originally it was on Wattpad. So I don't know if the Wattpad book is different from this book or they're the same and the show is different, but the book is definitely different from the show. They left a lot of like things the same, but it is very, very different from the show. This one is like completely different. Like there's like some scenes that you see in the show, but then everything else is pretty much different. And I'm like, okay. Not hating on it though, not hating on it. Cole Walker in the book is so different from the Cole Walker in the show. Because in the book, he kind of gives, I don't know if y'all ever seen After, but he kind of gives Hardin. And there's some scenes in it that reminds me of Hardin, like in After. Like there's so many like same scenes, I want to say. And I'm just like, are you trying to be Hardin right now? Anyways. But yeah, and also in the book, he's constantly with Jackie, while in the show, like, he really isn't. Alex is more like the one that's like her friend and the one that's kind of with her the most. But in the book, he's mostly with her. So, yeah, that says a lot. My only pet peeve about the book would probably be that the ending in the show was better than the ending in the book. Because, yeah. It didn't really give much detail. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like the show, like, even the kiss in the show was just, it was better. I'm not gonna say who she kissed, but she kissed someone and it was better, y'all. Anyways, but yeah, I hope there's a second book. Right now, I believe there's only one book, which kind of, like, makes me sad, because I really would love to read, like, the second book before the second season comes out. But it's okay, but it's, yeah, it's kind of different from the show. Like, there's no money issues in the book or anything like that. The parents aren't even really much talked about in the book. It's mostly just Jackie and Cole hanging out, and then there's like a couple scenes with Alex, and like, you know, obviously, yeah, like, and there's a lot of scenes where like in the show it's with Alex, but in the book it's with Cole, which it gives you a whole, like, I honestly, when I first started watching the show, I didn't even like Cole. I was like Team Alex all the way, but then you read the book and you're like, how can I not be Team Cole, you know? I don't know, that's just my opinion. So yeah, the book's pretty good. Next would be, this one is kind of like a meh for me, to be honest, and it's My Roommate is a Vampire. Y'all, it's not bad. I really like the cover art, it's really cute. There's some parts in the book that's really cute too, but it's just like the fact, because I'm used to like Twilight and I'm used to like the Vampire Diaries, so maybe that's why I was kind of like, what is going on right now? Because the vampire in this book, he acts like he is like 100 years old, and he acts like he's really backwards in time and stuff like that, just everything, right? And it was kind of a pet peeve for me, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm here waiting for like for him to be like, okay, and it's just like, I don't know, but it got kind of good though. I wasn't expecting there to be a steamy scene in the book, so that kind of had me like, what? But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good book. It's a short book too. It's not very long, as you can tell. It's not a very long book, but it's not bad though. I started reading it because I saw someone on TikTok recommend it, and I was like, okay. I don't know. It's kind of one of those like little like romance comedy type books. I mean, there's a lot of funny parts in it. Cause what's the friend's name? I think his name is Reginald. I could be pronouncing that wrong, and don't aim me on it. But he's a pretty funny character in this book. And honestly, like if they made this book into a movie, I would probably still watch it, to be honest. But yeah, it's not bad. It's just not my top 10. Well, I guess it would be in the top 10, but it's not like up there with the other ones, if that makes sense. But it's not bad. I haven't really read anything else by this author, but yeah, it's not bad. Next is something that's about to turn into a TV show pretty soon, and I'm super excited about it. Is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So this one's probably the one that I'm going to be making a part 2 video about it, just because I really want to get into the depths of this book and just talk about it on here without, well, with giving spoilers, but there'll be like a spoiler warning obviously. So like if you read it, then you can watch the video, but if you haven't read it, then I would say not to watch the video until you read it, because it's, yeah, but I have to like talk about it in a different video just because there's so many questions, and there's so, like, I have so shocked by so many things that happens in this book. So let me start with the first one, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So the first one is so good. At first I was like, okay, like this is kind of boring, but then like, bro, it gets like good out of nowhere, and like it just like it hypnotizes you, honestly, because it's so good. But basically, it's about this girl, and she has this school project, and she needs to find out like who the murderer is in this like case that's going on in her I wouldn't say city, because it's not a city, but like in her like just like in the area that she lives. I'm not sure what that's called, but yeah, like in the little area that she lives, there's like this murder happened like a couple years ago, and they basically left it where like this person killed, and they were like, she was like, nah, I don't believe that. And so she goes to the brother's house of who supposedly killed the girl, and was like, I want to prove your brother's innocence. And yeah, and it all just starts from there. It spirals, like it really do. Like you would be surprised. But yeah, it's so good, and I love how there's like pictures in the book as well. Like they show like a little diagram that she has of like where she went that day, the girl that got killed, like Andy. She has like pinpoints of where she was like at certain times, and then like it's so good. And like there was times where I would stop reading and I would just look at it, and I would try to think of like what could have happened to her in that like time frame that she was given. So it really makes you think yourself, like, who is the killer, you know? It's really good. And I thought the book was gonna end here. Like I thought each book was gonna be about a different story, kind of like a different murder case, or like a different, it's like story about a murder case basically. But they all connect, and I was not expecting that, because in this book she figures out who's the killer. And he gets arrested, and yeah, she figures out who the killer is in this book. So I didn't think that the second book would be correlated to this book, but it was, and I love that. So the second one is A Good Girl, Bad Blood. Now this one is so good as well. She basically, one of her friend's brothers disappears, and his friend is like, her friend is like, can you help me look for him? You found out who the killer was with the last murder case. Can you help me find my brother? And she did so good. Like it's just, I love like the crime scene type of books, and like just like investigating type of books. And then my thing is with this trilogy is that you never know who the guilty person is. Like it's just, you keep on finding out new things, and you never suspect who it is, and I love that. I just love that. And then there's the third book, the final book. It's called As Good as Dead, and it's just crazy because the art and just like the cover art on these, like it basically describes what happens in the book, and I love that. This one pretty much the same thing, but it involves more of like herself, because she has a stalker in this book, so it kind of more involves herself now. And it's crazy how different her character goes through these books, because in this one she's like a whole different person from like the first book that came out, which is normal because she's been through trauma and stuff. But yeah, it's really good. I feel like personally, since they are making a show of this book, I feel like personally the way the book ended in this one, they could honestly make the show go for longer than 3 seasons. They could probably make it go for like a little bit longer if it's successful and stuff. And I really like the actress that they chose to be in the show. Obviously she's from Wednesday. I can't remember her name right now, but I'll write it down here. A lot of people had something to say about that, like they weren't really happy that she was the main, like the girl or whatever, like they expected someone else to be. But I honestly could see her as Pip, and I could see that she, like, that's how I pictured Pip in my mind to look like, and I feel like they did a good job. I feel like the only one they didn't do a good job would be Max. I feel like it doesn't look like how I picture him to look. I feel like, yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you've read any of these books, then let me know and your opinion on them. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.